everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Liquidity Legends, hosted by Bonzo Finance Labs. We're here to get the inside scoop on token-based projects found across the Hedera DeFi ecosystem and made available for lending and borrowing on Bonzo Finance. Today, we're chatting with Tudor, CEO and founder of HeadStarter and the HST token on Hedera. HeadStarter is a leading Web3 accelerator dedicated to supporting the Hedera ecosystem and its associated projects. So, Tudor, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation, Brady. It's great to be here with you, and it's great to be one of the first tokens supported on Bonzo. It's a very exciting moment for all of us in the team, and I'm sure everybody in the ecosystem.
No doubt, and we're actually we were users of HeadStarter as well. We did an NFT sale through your guys platform, and it's been great working with you all. To kick things off, could you give us a quick intro about yourself and HeadStarter, and maybe HeadStarter's role in the Hedera ecosystem?
Sure, I'd love to. I started off looking into Hedera being converted by Mike Maloney, I guess, in 2017, as a lot of us, I guess, have. Did everything I could to join the South 3, which in hindsight might not have been, the best experience, but I ended up staying, building in the Hedera ecosystem, kind of like cheered for the seemingly underdog in 2018, 2019, while I was running an educational meetup in Dubai. I saw a lot of people that were kind of like curious about Hedera, but everybody was too shy to venture into it. So after building a first initial project on Hedera and networking with a lot of the founders in the Hedera space in those early days, we realized that funding was one of the biggest issues that a lot of these startups building on Hedera were facing. And there was limited to no institutional support for said projects, and everybody was looking at it like a passion project, something that could really, break the boundaries of their respective vertical, but because of the hashgraph technology, but not a lot of them were enabled to do so. So as soon as we heard that smart contracts 2.0 were launching on Hedera, that's when we knew that something like HeadStarter was very much necessary. And as you mentioned, we started off as a crowdfunding platform that supported only IDOs, but quickly ventured into other crowdfunding methods through NFT sales. Also, more recently, supporting private sales, private placements, and we have some very interesting yield-bearing products coming up in the immediate future. We see HeadStarter as a key pillar for the Hedera ecosystem when it comes to a one-stop shop for liquidity and financing for all Hedera projects.
Excellent. And you mentioned smart contracts 2.0. I see that as one of the biggest unlocks that Hedera's engineered and built. This idea of EVM equivalence has been such a focus on the engineering side, and it's led to the ability to have DeFi applications built on the Hedera network, Saucer Swap, Swap, and a number of different DeFi focused things, and then obviously Bonzo Finance as well with lending and borrowing forked from Aave. How do you see DeFi evolving on Hedera, and what role do you see HeadStarter playing as part of its evolution?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Brady. And from HeadStarter's perspective, we've been supporting growth of Hedera DeFi from day one. We even went the extra mile, and in early 2024, we announced the incubation program, where we are giving away ourselves grants up to $25,000 for early DeFi projects. So we are looking to continue to support on priority in go-to-market, whether that's incubation or acceleration services for any DeFi projects that are, passing our due diligence, but as well they are looking to innovate and bring important DeFi primitives onto the Hedera network. Furthermore, along with early Hedera DeFi protocols such as Saucer Swap and Stader, we co-founded the Hashgraph DeFi Alliance, in 2022, for which Bonzo also is one of the newer members, and we're looking to continue to grow that space, offer functionalities and open source resources and support for newcomers in the Hedera space. So DeFi is a probably at least in our eyes, the most important component when it comes to the Hedera network, in terms of its sustainable growth in the future and overall network adoption. So we're looking to continue to be front and center for supporting any initiative that has to do with DeFi.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's been great, sitting on the DeFi Alliance and having these regular meetings with everybody and sort of formulating strategy around how DeFi evolves. And one thing I was talking with Mei Chan of Hashpack about is just how collaborative I think the marquee projects across the ecosystem have been through these consortiums like the DeFi Alliance, like Hashgraph DAO, a number of groups that have brought people together and like created the alignment that we're seeing. And hopefully as the ecosystem grows out, we'll continue to keep that alignment. I think it becomes harder as ecosystems grow. So it's great to have this like solid foundation laid, in my opinion. Um, with Bonzo bringing lending and borrowing to Hedera, how do you think this is going to impact overall liquidity, functionality, things of that nature across the DeFi ecosystem?
Yeah, I think to answer this question, I'm gonna refer to a conversation we had a couple months back, Brady, when it comes to creating this flywheel of success and adoption for Hedera, where Bonzo Finance and H Liquidity as well. They are some an early lending and borrowing protocol that have brought a certain amount of innovation into the Hedera network. All of these different protocols contribute towards the increased liquidity of the Hedera network that can lead and generate a flywheel of success and adoption, where this increased liquidity and overall market activity will bring on more actors into the Hedera ecosystem, attract institutional participation on chain, and that in itself will continue to grow the to grow the overall visibility of the network. People will then look more into the Hedera ecosystem as a potential place for them to deploy their capital, and thereafter that will in itself bring more talent and more innovators on chain, more products as well as assets on the Hedera network. So in itself, it is a self-propelling flywheel of success, and Bonzo definitely will continue to serve as a opportunity for assets on Hedera network to become more efficient.
Fully agreed and well said. Yeah, the one thing that I think I'm excited about is like a specific example in what you described was when you look at the DeFi ecosystems of other networks, when you have decentralized exchanges laid first and then lending and borrowing comes online, we have noticed just a direct impact that lending and borrowing has on top line metrics of DEXs, TVL increases, volume increases. It seems like every subsequent addition of a DeFi product category ends up supporting the previous categories as well. And then I think that's true too for the foundation that we're laying, where if Bonzo is to become this liquidity layer of the Hedera network, it opens up the door for the next phase of DeFi beyond that, like perpetuals and futures, for example, where they sort of rely on a layer of liquidity in order to function. So I'm very, very excited about that. Can you share some thoughts on, oh, sorry.
I am too about perpetuals personally and
Yeah.
other DeFi primitives, and there's a lot of exciting stuff coming there as well. But definitely, you're right, Brady. Bonzo should become a pillar in Hedera DeFi.
No doubt. Can you share some thoughts on how the HST asset for HeadStarter being supported by Bonzo Finance might benefit your project and community?
Yeah, definitely. So the HST token is the native utility token of HeadStarter. At the very basic utility, it enables user participation for different events. The higher the tier of holders of the HST, the higher access you have for more thought after events, more private sales, higher allocations. So just to begin with, by users being able to borrow HST on Bonzo, that would enable them to participate in different events or try to participate in different events that are upcoming on the HeadStarter DApp. We did mention about the increased liquidity, right? But, where people will be able to potentially trade different tokens that are available on Bonzo at higher depth, and therefore the order books. And overall, it will make their life a lot easier for traders, especially for smaller tokens that are available on Bonzo. Also, for the people that are holding HST, it offers another opportunity for them to be able to use the HST as collateral to lend and borrow, and hopefully all of this will continue to drive and attract more users and community, draw more visibility towards the latest projects that are launching on Hedera, and overall increase the liquidity that we can tap into when it comes to the ecosystem. Right now, if you look at HeadStarter, there's been between 3 and 3.5 million that were raised for projects that are native to Hedera, and that represents a bit less than 10% of the TVL as of now, right? So we're still, it is a big contribution, but it just shows the opportunity growth when it comes to the Hedera TVL and the overall network participation, whether you're a user or a liquidity provider or a trader, or a builder, for you to make a splash and overall arbitrage this gap that exists in the Web3 ecosystems right now, for example, between Hedera and similar layer one networks of similar market capitalization.
I love it. Yeah, overall greater market efficiency seems like a big benefit that I hope to see happen when lending and borrowing comes online across the space. So, how do you envision this interaction between various DeFi protocols on Hedera, and how does that contribute to the network becoming this more robust financial ecosystem?
Yeah, right. Thanks for the question, Brady. So, Hedera intrinsically has a lot of very interesting value propositions when it comes to the Hashgraph protocol. I always, and we've been talking internally about the fact that it's such a unique model that the transaction fees are pegged to the US dollar on the Hedera network. So if you are to be a larger scale institution that does your operational expenses in US dollars, this should be a prime environment for you to deploy capital and to try to leverage different yield opportunities or investments. So we do see that, with Bonzo coming live and its relationship with other core DeFi components of Hedera, such as the Saucer Swap DEX, for example, that this will enable the next leg in the DeFi innovation on the Hedera network. You mentioned earlier perpetuals, but there's a lot of other interesting things that might come up, and we've seen some interesting announcements from from Hashgraph themselves, with their focus on the token asset studio, and I do see, like, for example, that especially when we envision the next evolution of the HCHF token of HLiquidity, that potentially Hedera can be a great home for Forex, tokenized Forex trading, among other interesting or new unique DeFi protocols. So I'm excited to continue to see all of this space continue to develop along with you guys.
I love it. Well, Tudor, I really appreciate you joining us for Liquidity Legends. Before we sign off here, is there anything else that you want to talk about or share with the audience, things that you're most excited and looking forward to in the future of DeFi on Hedera?
Well, outside of the imminent launch of Bonzo Finance, that should be very important milestone in the health of the Hedera DeFi space. There's also some important new initiatives that are coming from HeadStarter. We're going to be launching a very unique model of that in itself intercommunicate with another important product in our suite that comes from extraction of yield called stake pools. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more discussions on that, Brady, because we will be looking to leverage to a certain extent Bonzo Finance when it comes to the deployment of the stake pools that hopefully will become a homebred innovation when it comes to the yield extraction and different DeFi crowdfunding mechanisms. I also like a lot the HCS 20 native point system that you guys are implementing, and I hope that that continues to evolve further. Stay tuned for exciting new launches. We might have some announcements about new incubated DeFi projects coming up soon. So uh, overall, looking forward for the next months and years together.
Excellent. Well, we're really looking forward to that and all of the continued innovation project that you mentioned. Sounds very exciting, actually. So excited to chat with you about that as time goes on. Really appreciate you joining us for Liquidity Legends and hope to catch you soon.
It's my pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Bye.